Can cancer be contagious? Is it possible to catch it from someone who has it? Some of you may be shouting no at your screens right now, but you may be surprised to learn that there are some types of cancers that can be contagious, especially in other species. This is BioBabble, a YouTube channel that makes science fun and accessible by translating it into easy-to-understand language. I'm your host, Shannon, so grab some tea or coffee or beverage of your choice and join me while we chat science. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this episode, first we need to define what is cancer. As some of you may know, cancer is more of an umbrella term that covers many different types of diseases that all are characterized by two main things. One of these things is that the cells grow uncontrollably, so they're growing beyond a level that can easily be controlled by the normal mechanisms in our cells and in our bodies that would keep the cells under control and checked, basically. And two, the cancer can eventually gain the ability to spread to other parts of the body. As of the most recent data collected in 2017 by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in the United States, cancer was considered to be the second leading cause of death, accounting for approximately 20% of deaths, or 1 in every 5. Worldwide, cancer is also considered the second leading cause of death. Considering the massive impact cancer has on worldwide health, it's important to consider possible risk factors that may influence our chances of getting the disease. While we'll cover many of those other risk factors in future videos, today we're going to be discussing a potential risk factor that may be foreign to a lot of you. The idea of contagious cancers, or cancers that you may be able to get from somebody else. In most cases, cancer is not a disease that you can catch from other people, so you shouldn't necessarily be worried about catching it from someone who has it. However, there are two general exceptions to this rule. One case that we'll be talking about today is the possibility of transfer of cancerous cells from one person or animal to another, and the other, which many of you may already be aware of, is the possibility that you can catch a virus that will increase your chances of getting cancer later in life. First, we're going to discuss a case in animals where the transfer of cells contributes to development of cancer in these individuals. The first example we'll be discussing is looking at a case where we see the transfer of tumor cells or cancer cells from one individual to another in animals, resulting in the development of a tumor in that second animal. In 1996, scientists discovered the first case of Devil Facial Tumor Disease in Tasmanian devils. As may be obvious by the name, this type of cancer is found on the faces or inside the mouths of Tasmanian devils. Now, Tasmanian devils are nothing like the cartoon version that you probably saw on Looney Tunes as a kid, and they're kind of a nasty bunch. They frequently bite at each other's faces when competing over limited resources. The cells found within one facial tumor can be transferred to another Tasmanian devil when they're attacking each other over these limited resources. And if the second Tasmanian devil has an open wound on its face, those tumor cells can infiltrate the body and potentially infect the other Tasmanian devil. Devil facial tumor disease rapidly spread throughout the Tasmanian devil population and is thought to now infect over 80% of Tasmanian devils. Normally, there are methods that the immune system can use to prevent cancer from transferring through cells. However, for some unknown reason, possibly many unknown reasons, in the Tasmanian devil, these methods of preventing that are less effective. There are a few theories floating around about why Tasmanian devils can't do this effectively. One possibility is that because the Tasmanian devil population is massively inbred and therefore very genetically similar, that the immune system may not recognize these foreign cells as foreign and may mistakenly think that they're part of the host's body and therefore not mount an immune response to them and not attack them. And this can potentially allow the cancer cells to invade this new body. Another possibility is that the invading cancer cells may be particularly good at reducing the amount of these markers that would normally act as flags to mark to the body that these cells are foreign. So by decreasing it, the immune system won't be able to pick up as much on the fact that these cells are not supposed to be there, and they won't be able to effectively get rid of them. Due in part to this disease, Tasmanian devils are now at risk for extinction, and many scientists are trying to find out what they can do to save this unique animal before it's too late. There are other types of cancer that can be transmitted in a similar way to this Devil Facial Tumor Disease in other animals, including dogs, clams, and hamsters. As of present day, there are no known cancers that transmit in this way in humans, which is good news for us. As a general group, all of these cancers are referred to as clonally transmissible cancers. Clonal, in this sense, means that all of these cancer cells are originating from a single source cell. Although there are no known clonally transmissible cancers in humans, an idea that's very similar to this in humans is the occurrence of post-transplant tumors. In the process of receiving an organ transplant, people take immunosuppressant drugs, which decrease the activity of their immune system. This is to ensure that their bodies don't reject the new organ that's being transplanted into their body. However, this also leaves an open door that cancer cells hiding inside that transplanted organ may be able to use to sneak into the host body and produce a tumor inside that body. This can result in cancer formation post-transplant. Our second example of contagious cancers is something you may have heard of before. Certain infectious agents, like viruses, can contribute to an increased risk of developing cancer. These include the human papillomavirus, or HPV, and depending on your age, many of you may have already been vaccinated for this virus. These viruses differ from our earlier example in the sense that cancer cells are not transferred from one individual to another. But some of these viruses can cause changes inside your cells that may cause the cells to behave or grow abnormally, and this could contribute to tumor development. As stated by the American Cancer Society, these viruses can be passed from person to person, usually through blood or sex, but the viral infection alone usually does not lead to cancer. A weakened immune system, other infections, other risk factors such as smoking, and other health problems allow cancer to develop more readily. As a final note, it's important to acknowledge that most types of cancer aren't contagious, and therefore you can't catch them from someone who has it. I hope you found this video interesting. If you have suggestions for future videos, or if you have questions related to science, particularly biology, that you would like answered, please let us know in the comments down below. Sources for the video are found in the description. If you liked this video, please hit the like button below, subscribe for more science content, and hit the bell to be notified when we upload new videos. And 2, the cancer can eventually spread. Hi, kitty.
Say hello, Clover.
This